Anti-Cruelty Society, also known as the ASPCA. Hope you enjoy our interview. So can you describe to us a typical day here at the facility? How does it operate?
Well, it depends on what department you're looking at.
Okay.
I mean, if you're looking at probably the one that most folks are familiar with, that's their kennels and adoptions. I started working there when I began my career in animal welfare here. First thing in the morning, you get in. If you're on the morning crew, you come in, you feed everyone. Once you get through that, it's a matter of getting everybody's kennels and cages clean so that the animals are comfortable, the facility is presentable. It's a good grueling 2.5, 3 hours first thing in the morning. After which point you're dealing with the public who want to come in and adopt. And then after that window of dealing with the public who are visiting the animals, adopting, getting whatever services they're looking for from us, then we close down and it's another round of cleaning for the evening. And,
right.
It's a constant thing, and that's just kennels. You have our intake department, which is similar. It deals with all the animals that are surrendered each day. We have our clinic, our animal hospital, that not only treats all the animals that we have here in our care, but also has the spay-neuter program that we do for the general public. Over 800 surgeries a year for the general public, for folks who are looking to spay or neuter their pets. And that's not even counting the animals that are adopted through us that also get spayed or neutered.
So now that you mentioned about the volunteer work, what is the process for that? Like, how does the community how do they become a volunteer?
Well, the easiest way, the most common way that people come in, and I think the easiest way, so if you're 18 years of age, that's for the regular volunteer program. 18 years of age, you go through orientation where we teach you about the shelter's mission, their background, a lot of the things that people should know about us before, deciding to represent us. And then you go under the watchful eye of a volunteer mentor. This is once you pick what program you want to work in. Because the great thing about being a volunteer here is you can work in just about any department here. We have folks, with the exception of, well, you can't do surgeries, obviously.
Right, yeah.
But we have volunteers that work in our clinic. They assist with the vet techs. They help with surgery, prep and recovery, animal transfers. We have volunteers who help here with adoptions. We have volunteer dog walkers that help in the mornings when we're doing the morning cleaning. Folks who socialize cats, customer service volunteers. Again, you can be exposed and get experience in doing almost anything in a shelter environment as one of our volunteers, which I think is a great thing, as it gives you a realistic idea of what it's like to do this sort of thing. On top of that, that sort of exposure, that sort of experience helps you determine whether it's something you really want to do as a career.
Right. Wow. So there's a lot of opportunities in here. Just being involved in any of the department, that's pretty awesome. Now, most importantly, how is the facility financed? I know through donations. Can you elaborate a little bit more about that?
Well, again, being a not-for-profit organization, we, totally privately financed. Now, there are different levels to that. Now, the majority of our financing goes through our development department. They handle our fundraising events. One of our big money makers is that, that little envelope that you get in the mail from time to time from different organizations?
Yes.
That's a huge thing because those little $5, $10 donations, those add up. And the more of those that we get, the better off we do.
Okay.
Beyond that, we have corporate sponsors. We have different events that different corporations will lend their brand to and also big contribution to our funding. We have different fundraising events that go on throughout the year to again get funding for our general programs. And then we have our investment account. We have somewhat, we have around, I don't know how much is in it, but we have an investment account that we can use anywhere between 3 to 5% of the interest off of that to keep our operations going. But that has to be approved by the board, whether it's like 3 or 5, something like that.
Okay.
It's not enough for us to say, wow, we have so much money that we can just work off the interest rate. I mean, that would be great, but
Right.
it's not just the way it works. But really, the greatest impact that goes on in our funding is the contributions, donations that we get from the general public.
Good, good. Now, can you discuss a little bit about the adoption process? Like, what are the requirements, or elaborate a little bit about that?
Well, our adoption process has evolved over the years, but I think it's essentially stayed the same.
Okay.
When someone comes in to adopt an animal, we ask them to come in, select an animal, spend some time with the critter to make sure it's, at least on the surface, a good match. We have very experienced and knowledgeable staff in each room that will help folks make what we hope is a good match for them. And then after that part, we sit down with an animal care counselor. We review the application that the person is given.
Okay.
It tries to get like a general overview of the person's pet history, experience, and stuff like that.
Right.
And using what we know about the animal and what we get about the person, and then sit down and try to see if we can make a good match. Now, if we think it's a good match, and in a lot of cases with the right guidance, we find that we can make good matches. The person is given a medical history on the animal, vaccines, answer any behavior issues, things that we might be concerned about, and then go from there. If the adoption is approved and all that, in most cases the animal goes home the same day. It's spayed or neutered before its release.
Okay.
These days we've been pretty good about spaying and neutering before they even get into the room. So it's all the same day process.
Okay.
And then there's an adoption fee depending on what animal is.
Okay. All right. Now we are just going to transition a little the questions. Since we are in the dental hygiene field, we would like to ask you some questions in regards to the oral health of our pets. So why would you say that oral hygiene is important for our pets?
It's very important, especially these days with the advances in oral hygiene for animals. There was a time when we really didn't give it that much attention. The most that we wanted to do, the most that we did to help keep our dogs' teeth clean would be like give them a dog biscuit.
Okay.
Well, that's essentially what it was for. But now we know that teeth cleanings, that's something that's done for animals. There are all new sorts of products out that help keep the teeth and gums clean and healthy. And by keeping the teeth clean, it also helps extend the lifespan of the animal.
Definitely, yes.
You know that dental disease can lead to other issues in our own health.
Right.
It's the same in our pets.
Okay. Now, when would you recommend that the caregiver introduce perhaps a toothbrush habit to their pet? Like, would it be once they're puppies?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Oh, definitely. If you're gonna, for both dogs and cats, oh goodness. Good luck getting your cat to let them brush your teeth. But starting when they're really young, that's one of the things that we do with our puppies here in socialization.
Okay.
Is we get them accustomed to the sensation of having their teeth rubbed.
Right.
So that way, teeth cleanings and at-home teeth cleanings are easier over time.
Okay. Now, are there any tips that you would that are effective for a good oral hygiene, or what do you recommend? Like those.
Well, right now, there's so many great products out there.
Okay.
There are the pet toothbrushes with the different enzymatic cleaners. There are the treats that are treated with the enzymes that all your animal has to do is chew on them, and the enzymes will act on the surface of the teeth.
Okay.
But nothing, at the same time, as they get older, as your pet, advances in age, having those teeth cleanings done is something that I recommend.
Okay. Now, is that something here that's done at the facility, or is that something that, like the teeth cleanings, or?
That's something that we have done for let's say our older pets that are adopted from us after
Okay.
they're spay or neuter.
Okay.
Because we know that they're already under anesthetic, you give them a nice little teeth cleaning, you're done.
Right.
But it's not like a recurring service that we offer.
Okay. And then what would you say are some oral diseases that you have seen in your experience that come from a lack of good oral hygiene? And what would you say?
Yeah, same periodontal disease.
Periodontal
Yeah,
disease,
you
okay.
see those in dogs as well as, as in cats.
Okay.
Mind you, that is more prevalent in much older dogs. You can tell that they haven't gotten a lot of attention to their oral health.
Right.
But yeah, you've seen it, rotting teeth, horrible breath.
Yeah.
I mean, dogs don't have great breath as it is,
Right.
but yeah, that can occur with them just like with people.
Okay. Now, would you say in your experience, have you seen, or what would you say is some early prevention for like squamous cell carcinoma, diseases like that? Like, have you experienced that, or?
That would be something that probably one of our vets would be better off at answering that question.
Okay.
I can't answer that with authority.
Right, okay. So again, well, thank you, Elliot, so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
And for allowing us to come and interview you. So we will now transition to probably the pet clinic where we can see animals in action. But thank you again, Elliot.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us with our experience at the ASPCA.
Come out and volunteer. This has been a double EK production.
Cut!
Good morning, fellow.
Thank you for joining us with our oh crap! Thank you for joining us with our experience at the ASPCA.
Oh shit!